Alright everybody, and welcome to another video with me, Craig Bryant, and welcome to Ballymena railway station. I'm actually in the park and ride, which is looking pretty well used for the time between Christmas and New Year when I'm filming this. But you might have seen, you might not have, but you might have seen one of my older videos, Can You Do Northern Ireland by Public Transport, where I flew into City Airport, Belfast City Airport, and I got a train and then another train all the way up to Coleraine, and that was before Belfast Grand Central Station opened. So I was changing at Lanyon Place. I think there were like bus replacement services and things like that on, and a lot of people in the comments were like, why don't you just come back when Belfast Grand Central opens to have a look at it? So that's what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to get the train here from Ballymena, which takes a very weird and convoluted route, goes down to Antrim, and then goes through Ballymena park and ride, but doesn't have a station there. So there's a bus stop, and literally it's built so that in the future they could build a train platform at Ballymena. It's ridiculous. They need to literally have a halt there, just build a platform, and then people will actually use it instead of having to get the bus instead. And then it goes into Newton Abbey, stops at Mossley West, and then down to York Street or York Gate. Which one is it called now? It's changed its name to York Street, I think. And then eventually we're going to be getting into Belfast Grand Central Station after going round Belfast a little bit. So that's what I'm going to go and do now. I've got about 15 minutes, I think, till the train comes. So I'm going to go and buy me ticket, and then I'll see you on the platform. Well, that was no bother at all. There are some really responsive touchscreen ticket machines. I couldn't even remember the word there. Like, genuinely, that was like the best ticket machine I've ever used in my life. So the cost for this to get into Belfast, which is 50 minutes away, is £13.50 return. So like, yeah, 50-minute journey each way. It's sort of bordering on that's on the expensive side, but that is an off-peak return. I think it's about £17 or £18 if you want to travel before 9:30 in the morning, I think it is, with TransLink. So check the TransLink website. That's where all of the buses and trains for Northern Ireland, you get information through TransLink. They run them all. So it's actually looking pretty well used there. There's a staff member checking tickets on the way in, but there's no ticket barriers. Really friendly, really nice. The station itself is looking in pretty good shape. Like, it seems like it's had a little recent paint job. It's a bit, I don't know when this was built, but it's a little bit of a, you know, feels like sort of 60s or 70s sort of style of architecture, which I don't really like. But yes, we can see we've got a double platform here, but most of this track is single track with passing loops. So I think this might actually be one of the passing loops there. So you've got two platforms, and then underneath is a subway. I'm just next to it here, which pops out just over there. So there's no overbridge, but actually I did see there it's a ramp down to it, and then there is actually also a lift over there as well, so step-free access for those who need that as well. So actually pretty impressed with this so far. I've been to Ballymena so many times. My wife lives in the back of beyond, not even near here really, but yes, been to this place, but I've never actually been to the train station or the bus station next door. And that's another thing to say, there is joined up transport interchange here, because over the other side there there's quite a big bus station as well. Although I will say this, don't rely on buses really in Northern Ireland, because yeah, they're quite sparse, put it that way. Yes, looking forward to getting on the train now. It is a passing loop. You can see the train going north to Londonderry. Derry is just passing there, and that allows us to now leave, heading south towards Belfast. After leaving Antrim, we now head through Temple Patrick, and we're just about to cross the M2, the main motorway between Belfast and Derry. Now, it's a terrible shot, I'm so sorry, but to the left there you can see a car park. That is Ballymena. That should be a train station there. I don't know why they haven't built the platform yet. After the short stop at Mossley West, we get to join the branch that goes all the way up to Lough Harbour, which joins with the P&O ferry, and then we get some beautiful views over Belfast Lough. After the excitement of seeing 3 Stena Line ferries, we get alongside the M2 motorway again. At this point, I think, somebody check me on this, I think this is the second widest piece of motorway in the whole UK. Only the M25 around Heathrow is wider.
Please alight here from Ulster University. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform when leaving the train.
That was just the guesstimate. I've never been on it. I think it's something. I think so because it's got an atmosphere of
Belfast Lanyon Place. Welcome aboard this TransLink NI railway service to Belfast Grand Central.
The journey from Lanyon Place gets a little bit strange though. Turning from what really should be an intercity service that stops at some major towns, instead becomes sort of like a suburban railway. Almost feels a little bit like the Dublin DART rapid transit system here, because you get 2 quick stops in succession, Botanic and City Hospital.
Lough, London's Derry Line rail connection.
Well, we've arrived here at Belfast Grand Central Station. I'm hiding in the corner next to one of, I think there's like 3 or 4 Christmas trees, but there is the concourse behind. And I've got to say, first impressions, I've said this on this channel before, first impressions matter, and I am very, very impressed. This is like an airport terminal. That's exactly what it feels like. It is spotted, I know it's new, but it has been in use for like, say, 2 months maybe now, a month and a half, 2 months, and even with those 2 months the place is spotlessly clean. There's loads of staff about, there are nice food outlets, there's a pret a manger, obviously there's always a pret everywhere, especially at train stations, but there's also an M&S food, a Starbucks over there as well. But the space, I think that's what sort of strikes you straight away. It's got a massively high ceiling, and when you think of Grand Central stations you sort of think of, I don't know, a St Pancras in London or a Newcastle Central Station perhaps, but like sort of a big old Victorian stone building. But this is grand in a different way. This is grand for the 2020s. It is absolutely huge. I really like the lighting actually in here. There's lots of natural light coming through from these floor to ceiling windows. And you've got integrated transport. I just say it all the time, I'm like a broken record, but you've got bus stands all the way to the end there, and then just over that end is the ticket barriers, and then in the shot before you'll see that all of the platforms there are terminating platforms. So it's dead easy if you're getting a bus in from somewhere else, you could want to switch to the train, maybe you're getting the train to Dublin, or if you actually want to switch trains. I did see a lot of people moving from the Derry to Belfast train that I was on, stops at Ballymena in the middle, but yeah, a lot of people then getting off that, and then you've got the Enterprise service run by Aeronod, I can never say it properly, Irish Rail, which goes to Dublin Connolly Station. You want to check out my video at Connolly Station, going down all the way down to Rosslare Europort. Have a look in the description below. If you're enjoying this video by the way so far, please subscribe and give us a like, please, that would be absolutely fantastic. But anyway, I'm going to have a little mooch around and then I'm going to go and get the train back. Well, I am very, very impressed. I've just come upstairs here. There's a little bit of a pub that they've got going on here, a Brewdog, which I've just heard somebody say, is this the nicest place we can get a drink? They are probably nicer places, but this is pretty nice anyway. Well, I'm going to leave the video here actually. I'm going to enjoy the train back. I'm going to get the train, I think it leaves in about 7 or 8 minutes time, so I'm just going to get back to the platform now. But just to say, if you come to Northern Ireland and you want to use a bit of public transport, and you're wanting to switch to buses, to trains, or switching between trains, definitely check out Belfast Grand Central Station. And a little bit of a shout out to the toilets there. 3 urinals and 3 cubicles for a men's toilet. Not enough if you're going to be expanding services here, so you needed a bigger toilet. But other than that, I'm going to give it 10 out of 10 still. Thank you so much for watching. And again, if you've enjoyed this video, please give this video a like. It massively helps. Subscribe, it's absolutely free and it really helps me out as well, so you can watch some more videos like boring ones like this. See you later.
If you're continuing on that number, thank you.
Just on board now. There was a little bit of a mix-up. Just been chatting to a nice lady who's in the carriage just up there, who's saying that she hates the new station. It's far too big and far too cold. I had a bit of a laugh on with her when she heard me Geordie accent. She was like, I've got a cousin who lives in Newcastle as well, so we've had a bit of a chat, but she said she preferred Victoria Street Station in Belfast. I'm not so sure I agree. I think this is fantastic, to be honest with you. I think she was just a bit peeved because this train's a bit delayed. I'm Now on board, it was empty when it turned up because it's just come from the depot. So they said it's going to leave about 10 or 15 minutes late, which I've got nothing to do today, so that doesn't bother me. But yes, this is a Class 4000 6-car train, which goes all the way to Derry, London Derry, on the way back. And we'll be stopping at all the same stations on the way here, so I'm not going to do any more videoing from here on outwards. Yeah, and we'll be getting off at Ballymena again. I've had a great day, and I hope you've enjoyed watching too. Just to say, the seats are pretty hard. I actually don't like them, especially for a journey like this. They're pretty solid, but yeah, not really that comfortable, to be honest. Nice and clean. And double USBs as well as we set off.